Hey everyone, my name is Gage Mercer. Welcome to the webinar for Jesters. We're going to wait another minute or two for people to continue joining and then get started. If you have any questions, you'll be able to enter those in the chat on the right-hand side as we go along. And if you have any issue connecting, just try to exit and re-enter as needed. Your entertainment while we wait can be this highlight from Jennifer. And we'll get started in 1 minute. All right, let's get started. So again, my name is Gage Mercer. I'm a co-founder here at ConnectLax, and today we're going to walk through the platform, how you can make the most of the tools in the recruiting process. ConnectLax acts as a matchmaker for high school recruits and college coaches. We help you connect with schools that fit you both on and off the field, and we also put your player info and video at the fingertips of every coach in the Recruit Finder. Big thing to keep in mind, this platform does include video. So your profile also includes a professional highlight video. This is a very active time on the platform. We've actually never had more highlight videos being created, more messages going to college coaches, and players obviously taking their game to the college coaches. Obviously, everyone's a little anxious at home and what's going to happen this summer. What I can say is just focus on what you can control, and that's making sure that you're continuing to train and be ready for when the games begin, and also organizing your info and video and getting that in front of college coaches, especially if we have a compressed summer. So the first part of the platform is finding schools that fit you both on and off the field. And I'm just going to stop and then reshare my screen. Sometimes that helps when people join late. And if you're having any issues, just try to make sure you switch over to Google Chrome or exit and re-enter the webinar. So first thing I'm going to do is click college matches in the top left. We have a little questionnaire here. First thing to keep in mind, if I click female, there's 858 college programs from WCLA up to D1. That's over 30,000 roster spots. There's definitely a school out there for you. It's just a matter of finding the schools that fit. If I come down, I'm just going to click the left option for the next four. So female, NCAA, I want a big school, keeping costs down, very selective. I'll skip the last two and click see my college matches. If you want to catch up to where we are or to a particular college, you could always search for it in the top left here. On the left-hand side, you can search by region, distance. Further down, you can search by test score, GPA. If you know what you want to study, you can expand that out, click on architecture, business, search for something more particular, and just continue to refine down the number of schools here. I'll click on Harvard, the fourth one down. And the first thing we'll see here is a little match score here at the top. And what this indicates is schools that we think fit you based on your information. So in addition to going through college matches, you can have us curate schools that we think fit you. So we'll look at your test scores, your GPA, majors of interest, are those offered by the school, athletic level, size, cost, and distance from home. From there, the more information we have at the top, and if you don't see a green check mark after an item, go ahead and click on it. It'll take you to exactly that section of your profile to get that in. And again, the little meter icon just indicates how confident we are in that match. i.e. how much data at the top we have to use. And if you see a school that you like, you can click on that blue plus sign. That's going to bookmark the school, add it to your target list. That way, Jerry and the Jester coaches can see where you're interested and coordinate. So, for example, if they reach out to the Princeton coach on behalf of a goalie and they're like, we have a goalie for that year, what we're really looking for is attack. Well, if you're attack and you bookmark that school, that's going to be visible to the Jester's coaches and they'll be able to better relay that information. If I click back in the browser, I'm just going to peruse down this college profile. We'll see things like a student-faculty ratio, team road trips, how easy it will be for the parents to see you, a list of commits, followed by events listed by the college coaches like clinics and prospect days. So if you come to the bottom and click embed, it will roll up all of those events chronologically. So you can see, okay, on June 29th are any schools that you're interested in running events on campus. Okay. If I go back up to the top, keep scrolling down, we'll have some team videos, so interviews with players, coaches, etc. We'll also have a virtual tour of the campus and some LinkedIn information, where guys live, where they work, what they do. So great email to the coaches. Hey, I'm very interested in entrepreneurship. I see that's the third most popular thing that grads do, etc. So we've, just to take a step back, we are the largest platform in lacrosse. I think part of it is trying to make sure that players sending better emails and better finding schools that fit. We had a club up in Connecticut that switched and they were emailing the coach at Iona, and Michelle Mason reached out and was like, how are they finding all this great information? And I showed her the college profile there, and she ended up bringing on her team. So the key is that you really want to make sure when you reach out, you're articulating that fit, because if the college coach knows that they offer the majors that you're interested in, etc., if they like your highlight video and they decide to, watch some game film shared through the platform, come see you in person, and ultimately extend an offer, they know that you're more likely to accept if there's a fit there. So articulating that up front is going to help de-risk that college coach's recruitment of you. Here we have some niche grades around student life, professors, etc. We have what should be bell curves, but Harvard skews to the right. But this is the incoming class data, not just for student athletes, but for all students that we're mapping your information against to come up with those match scores that we looked at earlier. Then we have some actual LinkedIn information. We have some admissions data, who got in, who didn't, what their GPA and test score was, followed by majors by popularity, net price by household income. I always like to use Harvard because big disparity here between the sticker price because of a large endowment and the net price. And the net price is the sticker price less financial aid. And so here you can see for family making 110,000 or more, you're looking at 46. For family making 76 to 110, you're looking at 19. The key is that given the scholarship reality at IBs, it's just good to understand all the other options available, whether that's merit scholarships at NESCAC schools because it's D3, etc. Yes, Danielle. So this information is available for all schools. So even if we want to hop off that school, you can go up to the top and you can hop to any school, and you're going to see the same information here. Some may have more or less events that they're listing. Okay, the virtual tour is still loading there, but here we see obviously more of some bell curves. So maybe the school has a couple less team videos or a little less admissions data, but by and large, it's all the same information here. Okay, so here's just kind of a school more localized. Here, I was just getting to, there's a student debt and salary section. So you can see how much student debt on average graduates have, and then how much they're making on average 6 years after they graduate. You can get a payback that you can compare across schools. Here, all right, I like it. We've got some social stuff going on. Campus safety, Carnegie classifications. Here, teams in the conference, and then similar academic schools. So who does Adelphi consider a similar academic school? Okay. If you see a school that you like, go ahead and click bookmark college at the top. That's not going to be visible to the college coaches. It's just going to add that to your list of bookmarks, be visible to the Jester's coaches. If I click here, key thing to keep in mind is the underclassmen, you should be building lists of at least 30 schools across multiple divisions. So that's D1, D2, D3, etc. Now, a popular tab, especially with parents over here, is analysis. What that does is gives you a deeper dive into the schools. So all the schools that you bookmark, if we come to the right, you'll see how popular they are, messages used from recruits. Here is this payback that we were just looking at. So I always kind of illustrate here, like Amherst, fairly expensive school, actually has a faster payback than Binghamton, a state school, and almost half as amount the time as the other school listed here. Student, faculty, or class size really is important to you. You can filter by that. If you has your ACT score, you can click here and say, okay, I got a 29. What am I looking at? GW, Binghamton, Vermont, etc. Okay. And then this is all part of the same section. So here, frequencies. And if you see a school that you like, you can move that over. Bookmarks. Okay, these are the schools that you add. How frequently is the info on respective schools updated? There's information being updated all the time. Some things are obviously every year we're getting new information from the National Center of Education Statistics. So the only things that sometimes have a lag is the LinkedIn information, because that doesn't really change what the most popular city is, for example, for a kid too often. Okay, good questions, you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to enter those in the chat. Don't hesitate. Okay. I'll come back to the section when we go through, but real quick, these are obviously the schools that you bookmark. You can see here, sometimes you could get feedback from your club coaches on those schools. You'll see the initials of who adds it, excuse me. If you see a little trophy icon, that just indicates that school has an upcoming event on campus. So you can see here the events that Brown has listed. And if you want, you can also add content. So if you've been on campus or anything like that, again, it's for you to collaborate with the Jesters coaches. If you complete your profile, and I'll get more into that, then you can feature yourself directly to those coaches. Okay. One thing I just want to hit on real quick, we saw the Harvard admissions lawsuit last year. Key thing, you use lacrosse as a tool. Why did we have, early recruiting in lacrosse, just like basketball and football, despite vastly different professional and scholarship opportunities? Well, I think it's because disproportionately lacrosse programs are great academic institutions, and you can use lacrosse as a tool to help. The other thing I would just say is, there's so much of a bigger picture, down the road when someone interviews you and asks, tell me how you've handled adversity. Tell me how you've been part of a team. If you're in an interview, it doesn't matter if you play D1 or D3 lacrosse. You're going to have a great answer to that question. Okay. We did push back the recruiting calendar, which is great. That means we don't have freshmen committing. That doesn't mean that college coaches aren't looking at information of underclassmen, getting you on the radar, going to a lot of team recruiting nights. It's very important, especially I know we have some 23s, 24s that may not have film yet. You still want to reach out, introduce yourself to those coaches. Often players that reach out convey a sincere interest in the school over a long duration that carries some weight with those coaches. And last, just keep mindful of the supply and demand of lacrosse recruiting. It's the fastest growing youth sport. There's not as many new colleges adding it. That just means you want to make sure you're proactive, reaching out to the college coaches. Okay. I'm going to go up to find recruits. Here we're looking at where all the players are going to be listed. And key thing is all the profiles are ranked bronze and gold based on how complete the profiles are. So we just looked at Harvard. They're probably going to want to look at kids with A grades, for example. And so again, they can be very targeted in what they're looking for. If I come over here. So here is example profile. You can see Jennifer's already built the highlight video. It's where you see the player in color and the rest is black and white. Important thing to note here is there's also unlimited video uploads. So it looks like she may have also had a highlight video or a clip that she added. So you can add as much video as you want, but we'll also build a professional highlight video for you. All you need to do is let us know the start and the end times, and we're going to cut that up, do that player isolation effects, etc. Very important. Make sure that you see this team association with the logo for Jesters on the left-hand side. If you don't see that, that means you may have just signed up as an individual. Not a problem. Just shoot us an email at support@connectlax.com, and we can sync your existing profile. Okay. We do integrate with some of the college coach databases like FrontRush, which the coaches like. Here, they'll see who to be able to follow up with. You can get endorsements from your coaches as well. So that could be, for example, a high school coach like Danielle. Okay. All the players are linked together. So it's sharing recruiting attention across Yep. So Patricia, I can hop there in 1 second and I'll show you that part of the platform. So again, this is your profile. It's public. College coaches always have to log in to see a transcript and a test score, but this link you can share directly with a college coach if you're doing a questionnaire, for example, on a college coach's website. So we had a question here. So how did Jennifer complete this video? So what she did is she went to the highlight video builder. So what I did is I just clicked on this tab here in the top right. That takes you to speedometer. That's kind of the back end view of a profile. If I go down on the left-hand side, there's a section called Highlight Video Builder. And what you're going to do is follow these tabs here at the top. We do have a tutorial that walks you through it. Now, the highlight video clearly narrated by yours truly. And you'll set up your info slides. And then under media, if there's film that you want to use that's not in your video library, and I'll show that to you in a minute, you can add that at the bottom of this page. But you'll have the cover photo like we saw for Jennifer where she's in color and the rest is black and white. And then also on clips, this is where you're going to let us know that start and the end time to the clips, okay? And then who you are so that we can do the player isolation. Key thing to keep in mind, you want to make sure you shuffle the order to move your best plays to the front. Don't assume the college coach is always going to watch all of your clips. The other thing I would say is have diversity of your plays. If you're tagged, don't show the same roll dodge from behind the cage. Show yourself identifying cutting lanes. Show yourself riding the clear, picking up ground balls, feeding, shooting from space, etc. Okay, so very important. You definitely want to get that done. For example, if you are reaching out to college coaches and you don't have a highlight video, we will show that in your message, so they may move on. So it's very important to get that in there. Okay. Next is review. That's going to allow you to review the highlight video. Okay, so you'll be able to see exactly those 5 seconds or 8 seconds. Okay, and make sure it's exactly what you want. Do keep in mind the highlight video is going to go from 1 year to unlimited this month. That means that the portion of actually selecting who you are is going to start showing up in this builder late this week or early next week. So what's great is that if you want to move 2 plays off the back, add 2 plays on the front, you'll be able to make as many revisions as you want for free. Great question here from Patricia. How many minutes is the video? So you're not really backing into a total length. Most of the videos come out to about 3.5 minutes. But the key thing to keep in mind is that it's about the clips. So if I go back to the clips tab, what I would note is that you want to make sure that the clips aren't too choppy, that you're showing kind of a little context to the college coach so they can see the play develop. That really means the clips are more like, 6 seconds than 4 seconds. So let me know if that answers your question. Question here from Michelle. How do players' parents populate the front screen of the video? That's a great question. So as we saw earlier, this little action photo. So for example, for this demo profile, as you remember for Jennifer, it had her in color and the rest is black and white. So this is what that will look like when it's done. And what you're going to do is just add that photo right here, and then we'll make that edit. So good question. Any more questions on building the highlight video before I move on? All right, so next what I'm going to do is just hop up to the dashboard. When you do sign up, your profile is not going to be complete. So let me make this profile not complete real quick. So what I'll do is come down here, remove something from the ACT. Question here from Patricia. If you have a video, then you can upload that into the builder and then say all the start and the end times, and we will cut it up for you and add those effects. So that's a common question, especially if you have a video that doesn't have those isolation effects already. Good question. Thanks, Patricia. So next, when you sign up, you're going to see this complete your profile, be able to click on these links here. You want to just click and make sure you get a check mark after everything. That's what's going to take you to that bronze to gold. And if you come down here, you may see some schools that are popular among your team, so that you can kind of take advantage of that. Key thing is that you'll also see all your messages here. So you'll see when the college coach opens your email, clicks on your profile. You don't need to log into messages to see those. It'll go directly into your inbox, like your Gmail, Yahoo, etc. Question here for Karen. Many of us do not have video, but will have some after the season. What do you suggest doing to fill out our profile in the meantime? That's a great question. So I know it hasn't been fully finalized what events, but do keep in mind that we are including game film from one event this summer. At this point, I think it is Summer Genesis, but that will be communicated to you. Key thing to keep in mind and why that's super popular is because you can share game film through the platform. So what will happen is that film will go into your video library. You'll be able to come here, tag yourself, your teammates in that film so we can see number 6 has a goal. Number 2 does, and number 6 has a goal here. So if you don't have film currently, you still want to make sure that you're reaching out to the college coaches, expressing your interest in the school. So it's not as much about check me out, come see me in person. It's more about I've been spending some time researching schools. This school is a great fit for me for these reasons. I'm going to stay in touch. I'll let you know my summer calendar, when it's finalized, etc. So to go back, even if you don't have a lacrosse highlight video, you could add one from basketball or another sport. The college coaches can still see your athletic ability. The other thing we've been seeing from 2024s and some underclassmen is if you have a training video that you shot in the backyard where you're ripping shots, doing footwork drills, you can add that in profile videos. You can go ahead and drag that as a file here, put it on YouTube, okay, and add that. That's going to complete that video portion. Great question, Karen. Any other questions on that? And again, we have different grad years on the webinar. We do have a recruit guy that kind of walks through some of that year by year stuff. Again, if you're 21, so I think Jennifer may have been 21. I can actually check that real quick. Definitely want to make sure you're building your highlight video right away and sending that to college coaches. Okay. She is a 22, sorry. So key thing to keep in mind, 21, 22s, definitely be building your highlight video, getting that to college coaches. 23s, 24s, you have a little bit more time. So not as much pressure there. Okay, so we're talking about messages. You'll see when the coach opens your email, copies your profile, show you how that messaging interface looks in a little bit. You'll also be able to click to the activity feed. Okay, that's going to show you if college coaches are adding your information in their database, getting feedback on the schools you bookmark from your club coaches, and then additional stuff as well. Good question here from Kelly. What is the best time for 2023 email college coaches? So I'll touch more on messaging college coaches, but just to hit, there's at least kind of 6 times a year that recruits reach out. It's before the summer, before the fall, what events you're attending. After summer, after the fall, if you have a new highlight video, and after the spring and fall semester, if you have an update on grades. So if you're at 2023 right now, you should definitely reach out before the summer, introduce yourself, express your interest in the school. That's why we have you message through those college profiles. And then just say, I hope to see you at a tournament this summer, etc. So what is the best time? The best time is right now. College coaches have never been more available to view your messages, profile, video, etc. That's one of the reasons why we have a lot of clubs that are either coming on right now or switching right now, is so that they have the tools to get their game and make sure they have that highlight video included. Because if you do message a college coach, and I can hop to it real quick. So if you're on a college profile, I'll back up real quick. Just click message coach in the top right. Always include those assistant coordinators, assistant coaches. Those are likely the recruiting coordinators. Okay, here you can copy your club coaches. If you're wondering about message, subject, and body, we do have an email template. Always good to be upfront. Why is the school a great fit? Tease out their interest by saying you have a new highlight video. And then to show you what that template looks like. It's very clean, looks just like you sent it from Gmail. Makes it really easy for the club and college coach to follow up based on that email. They may not be able to respond to you directly based on your grad year. And then also it'll break out your video. So a lot of times the coaches will see the email, click right to the video, and then they'll navigate back to your profile as long as they have a need at that position, for example. Good question, Kelly. If I go, we talked about the activity feed, profile info. Again, profiles that show the player's face versus zoomed out action shot, those typically get more clicks on them. Okay, here you can see, if you want to change your email, certain information about yourself, you're welcome to do that. Profile videos. Okay, unlimited video uploads. Go ahead and put in a link or drag and upload a file as you wish. Recruit info. Okay, this is the key stuff college coaches are looking for. Keep in mind some of the stuff is matching criteria. Okay, so it's not necessarily visible to the college coaches. This is used to help create those match scores. Bio, teams that you play on, athletic level. Again, another criteria to come up with those match scores, not visible to the college coaches. Performance metrics, academics. Keep in mind if you don't have your test scores yet, and the test scores that are scheduled for June are still currently on, as I know, just add a transcript or an award that you received in class. You don't have to complete everything in the section to get that done. Majors of interest, parents, you can log in with your email and the player's password. Just keep in mind the college coaches can tell when the email is drafted or sent from a 45-year-old parent versus a 15-year-old player. So you just want to make sure that you're letting the player, draft that message. And then as a parent, obviously you can proof it and then have them send it out to the coaches. Okay. If I come back to the next tab, recruit calendar, just going to skip that. Very important to let the college coaches know where they can see you in person. If an event's added by your club coach, it'll come as a question mark and you can confirm or deny your attendance. If, for example, you're going to Summer Genesis, you can come in here, find that event, and add it. That's going to let the college coaches know where they can see you in person after they watch your video. Come down here. Okay, key thing, all the schools that you bookmark, you should be messaging. Okay, you can click on the college, click message coach at the top, and you'll see a little email icon with your message history. You can also come to the bottom, download these preferences into a CSV file. It'll show you your information, the ranges for all the schools. You can also view that on a map. Oops, sorry. And if you're driving on I-95 this summer, it looks like you'll have some schools on the way. Next thing, we talked about analysis and recommendations already. The video library. So film from the summer will get synced into here. Any film you buy on the platform that's distributed by us or one of the film partners like Touchline, so IWLCA or First Scout, that will sync in automatically. But clubs can also upload and share film as well. So you'll be able to go through here, and then when you see a play that you like, click and move it to your highlight video. Okay. We talked about the highlight video builder already. Okay. Next is the team locker. This is where the clubs can upload and share content with you, such as playbooks, training videos. So a lot of stuff's been going up there lately as the kids continue to train at home. Quick tutorial videos will walk you through a lot of things we covered today. Billing, your membership is covered through your Jester's tuition. Settings, we do recommend you keep your profile public and allow endorsements from other coaches. What are these endorsements? So here, if you click, you can go and request endorsements from high school coaches, and personal instructor you work with. They'll be able to add that to your profile. That'll show up at the bottom, such as this, and then that can help kind of jumpstart your recruitment. Okay. You can also go to your public link, send that directly to a coach, and then they can navigate to the bottom and leave that endorsement. Okay. On settings, you see your personal stuff is locked down. A lot of players will keep academics public because college coaches still have to log in and see their transcript and their test scores, but that is up to you. And then we do recommend you keep your event calendar public. That way it makes it easier for the college coaches to know where they can see you in person. My coach's control, that just means that Jerry can update your player number if he's sharing game film with college coaches and he sees it in the film, you're number 33, and you're wearing number 13 or whatever. He can make sure that that's correct. Do keep in mind, there's many ways for college coaches to find you on the platform. It could be film shared through the platform. It could be Recruit Finder, so you could have teammates, for example, that message, they like the highlight video, they go to watch the game film. And, while they're watching that game film, you're number 33 in the goal, doing really well. They want to go down and see who that player is. Make sure your profile is there and complete. Okay. Over on the left-hand side, again, you'll have that highlight video credit if you go through that team sign-up link. What I mean by that is that you have that team association with the Jesters logo like we saw for Jennifer. If you don't, just shoot us an email, support@ConnectLax, and we can sync your profile. Here, if you say, oh, I want to get some more endorsements, these little have quick links to take you to the relevant sections. Okay. Any questions on anything I've covered so far? I know I've been covering a lot of ground here. The last thing I would just mention in regards to messaging, definitely message the college coaches before you go to clinic or prospect day on campus. When you go up to get your jersey, you want to make sure that they can put a face to a name and they know who you are. The other thing is if you do get a standard response because of compliance, they may not be able to respond to you directly. You might get those invites to clinics and prospect days. A lot of families will try to email through the platform, copy the club coaches, try to understand, are they recruiting your position for that year? Do you have the grades to get in? So you can be a little more judicious with your time and money. A couple questions here. So we email coaches for endorsements. Coaches beyond Jesters coaches, such as high school coaches, you can go ahead and request that from them directly here. Michelle, good question. So Michelle, in the team calendar, you could add that. And then what they would do is just confirm or deny their attendance. So, but if there's, especially an individual event, like a showcase that they're going to, they'll definitely want to come and add that. So if, for example, you can see Summer Genesis is already there. If, that's listed by the club and then I'm a player and I come down here and add Summer Genesis, all it's going to do is know to move my thing from question mark to confirmed. So it's kind of either or, but as a coach, it's good to do it on a team basis. Yes, Danielle, a lot of players will use, private trainers, etc. So lacrosse is a niche community. The college coaches may know them, and that can help jumpstart the recruitment of you. Great questions, everyone. All right, so I'm just going to kind of wrap it up. So big thing I would say here is that make sure you start by building your list of target schools. That means going to college matches. You can click see all teams. When you see a school that you like, go ahead and click bookmark college. Get that on your target list. You can also come over here and see schools that you like and click on the plus sign to add them as well. Okay. It's not going to be visible to the college coaches. It's going to go here. So you should get at least 30 schools across multiple divisions. And that's kind of the first step. Next, what you want to do is make sure you add video. If you already have an existing highlight video, put that in profile videos. If you want to build a highlight video, you can do that for free in the highlight video builder. Okay. And then in addition, you'll go to the recruit info tab to get that information in there. When you got some information in your profile and you feel good, go ahead and click here. Click to message the coaches. Like I said, include those assistant coaches and just start reaching out. And then you just want to make sure that you're keeping your profile updated, like new transcripts, and maintaining communication throughout the process. So big thing I want to just drive home is lacrosse recruiting is essentially supply and demand. The coaches have limited staff and resources. They get a lot of emails. So when those emails are through a platform, organize your video, integrate with their databases, they're going to be more apt to take a look. This is why we have you message through the college profile so you can find something specific to reference about the school. And this enlisting the profiles by completeness was requested by the college coaches who we worked with to build the platform. So again, be proactive. And as I mentioned earlier, playing college lacrosse at any level matters. Good luck to each of you. I'm going to hang out and make sure all questions are answered, and there will be a recording of this webinar made available as well. Yeah, so if you have not completed your profile yet, then what you want to do is go to your team sign up link, and what you're going to do is enter the email that you were notified at. So you may want to create your profile with maxspigataway2021@gmail. That's fine. You can still do that, but the email that you were notified at, maybe the parent email, that's where you're going to want to go and get your team profile synced. If you create your profile independently and you don't see that team association on the left-hand side, that's okay. That's when you'll be able to send us an email at support@ConnectLax to sync your profile. Good question. The webinar, your team sign-up links were in the webinar invite email, and they can be added as well to the recording that will get sent out tomorrow. Yes, we reluctantly are in some other sports. I'm a lacrosse person, so this is more what I'm passionate about. But for some groups that have switched over, like a copper mine that has a facility with multiple sports, we need to be able to handle that. So all the sports are under their own domain. So, Connect Soccer would be its own domain. Okay. But the key is that it's all completely separate. People are passionate about their sport. They don't want to be on a generic sports site. Good questions. Any other questions, you guys? There are no bad questions. Good question. So if you need any support, you can always give us a call here, or you can send us a message. Okay. The messages go into our Enchant, our customer service system, so it pulls up your profile information right away and makes it a little bit easier for us to resolve the issue more expediently. Thank you, Patricia. Appreciate it. Yeah, so in the activity feed, what you'll see here is kind of actions that you've taken, as well as if you're getting feedback on the schools from your club coaches, and then things that college coaches define as indications of interest. So if they're adding you to their database, stuff like that. If a college coach looks at your profile, then we're going to share that in the activity feed of your club coaches, but they don't consider that an indication of interest. Now, if you message a college coach and they click on your profile because you've reached out, then we'll share that here, and that's what that link icon indicates. Good questions, you guys. Any more questions? The parent does not get an email when the college coach views their profile. So there is a setting stuff like that. So you'll be able to see that in the messages if they open your email and click on your profile. So remember, the college coaches, and it's an important thing, they hate, and we've had a lot of clubs switch over, because what happens is college coach looks at your profile, the player emails them 10 times. It's really not what they want, especially as underclassmen. They more likely or not want to follow up with your club coaches, if anything. So the key thing is that if they like you and then they add you to their database, that's an indication of interest. But the key is that we work with the college coaches, and that's what they really want. And it's also driven a lot of clubs to switch over. If we send a question that is club specific, can we just say Jesters? Yeah. Well, you don't even need to say Jesters. If you reach out, we're going to know that you're part of Jesters if you have that team association on your profile. Patricia, you'll be able to see if a college coach, in this case, clicks on your profile after you message them. If they land on your profile and then they track you or add your information to FarmRush, you'll be able to see that as well. All great questions. What type of video format is, for example, if we record something, would that be sufficient? Yeah. So if you have something on your phone, you can get that in here. I would just strongly encourage you, try to use elevated film that is kind of clear for the college coaches to see. I think a lot of the parents sometimes will put these kind of quick clips that they get from their phones, and it's just sometimes really hard for the college coaches to see what's happening. Sometimes they're aiming into the sun, for example, or there's a bunch of players between the player scoring. So the key thing to keep in mind is that the college coaches, they get a lot of video, and if it's not easy for them to see the action and who the player is, they sometimes just kind of move on. So just make sure, and that's why we do include that professional highlight video so you can get that there. FrontRush is a college database that some college coaches use, a majority. And so what that will do is if they land on your profile, and I'll just navigate to a profile, and they click on this icon, that's going to allow them to move the player's information to their database. If they do that, then that's an indication of interest, and we're going to share that in your activity feed. Yes. So if a college coach just clicks here, then that is not an indication of interest. If they add your information to FrontRush or they track you, that will be shared. Okay. So this is what the college coaches have asked for, and that's why we see a lot of usage. If you message a college coach, you will be able to see here if they open your email and click on your profile. All right. Any further questions? Those are all great questions. Thank you, everyone. There will be a recording of this webinar made available as well. If there's no more questions, then I'll hop off. And again, thanks everyone for joining, and have a great evening. I am going to hang out for another minute. Just make sure all the questions get answered. Thanks, Brianna, and everyone stay safe. Stay well. Thank you for joining. And don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. You can give us a call or shoot us an email at support@connectlax.com. Danielle, you can skip the billing section. Your membership is covered in your Jester's tuition. Great, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm going to hang out another 30 seconds. I just want to make sure all the questions get answered. There are no bad questions. And if I don't see any for a little bit, then I'll hop off. But if you already have asked all your questions and you're all done, you're welcome to hop off, and have a great evening.